What Democrats find themselves in a place is we've shut down the government to protect subsidies for an insurance marketplace that funnels $800 billion a year into the pockets of all these insurance companies. Have Democrats boxed themselves into a corner fighting for a system that ultimately, to get the thing that you want, that I think the American people want, they're going to have to abandon.
Yes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your brother Wise, and hey, sit down, buckle up, because Jon Stewart is absolutely losing his mind right now. I mean, the dude is melting down, and he's going to toe-to-toe with Bernie Sanders, the godfather of the democratic socialism in this country. Now, what you're about to listen to, because I can't really play the video for copyright reasons, but what you're about to listen to is wild. Republicans did not have to say a single word this time. The left is eating its own. Stewart goes from righteous anger to full-blown chaos, and you're about to see exactly why. Now, I got a couple of clips to share with you guys. Listen, you know, we got to get into it. Bernie Sanders' performance is just pure political theater here. These are not serious individuals that should be trusted. To be honest with you, these are people that we should be looking to vote out of office. But let's get into it. Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel.
But again, this gets to the Democratic solutions have never been to directly provide. It's always been a subsidy to a middleman. But what happens is when the government promises endless funds to insurance companies or private universities without any cost controls, and Trump seems to understand this, prices rise far beyond the rate of inflation. And we've seen it in tuition, and we've seen it in pharmaceutical, and we've seen it in healthcare. So my question is, will Democrats recognize the poison pill that they've often placed into well-intentioned policy?
Right. What they end up doing is coming up with very complicated proposals. You make $48,964.
Yes!
You will get this thing. You make $1 more, you're finished, and blah, 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 blah. Look, we have got to make it simple. In the wealthiest country in the history of the world, should healthcare be a human right? Yes, it should be. Should we have the best quality education in the world, from childcare to graduate school? Yes, we should.
Right, but these are.
All right, how do you pass?
Let's get there.
All right, then the question is, all right, these are.
I'm writing this down, Sanders.
All right, the Republicans. You're getting violent here, you know.
You're right. I get excited when you're around.
Hey, this is ridiculous, because the Democrat Party is ridiculous. You got to think about this, man. We bring in about $5 trillion a year. We're spending $7 trillion a year. We have a bunch of people that aren't working. We have a bunch of people that aren't contributing to the system, but they're taking. And we have people like this guy here who are some of the most fiscally irresponsible people in the country, running our nation into the ground, trying to give people a bunch of free stuff. And the reality of it is this: they are funneling $800 billion. $800 billion in subsidies to insurance companies, to the pharmaceutical companies, and so forth and so on. You know, because these are the people that fund their campaigns, and they really do not care about the American people. Let's just keep it a buck. But I want you guys to hear this next clip here.
You know, if you think about, because your message has always been consistent, and you've spoken this way since you first came on the scene for a very long time, and you've always been clear about it. You could almost make a case that the true inheritor of the Sanders revolution is Trump. He's the most socialist president of my lifetime. Taking a percentage of companies to do business, that's a Bernie Sanders idea. Yeah. Doing a Trump RX where the government is involved in selling pharmaceuticals, that's a Bernie Sanders idea.
It's not only some of his policies, some of his other policies.
I never want to give that man credit. Never.
Not forget, is throwing 15 million people off the health care they have and doubling health care premiums.
He's not perfect.
And giving a trillion.
I didn't say he was.
Exactly. They expect perfection out of a president, but no one's perfect. Everybody is flawed. everybody. But they can't even give credit where credit is due when it comes to the president and the things that he's getting accomplished and the things that he is implementing that is actually helping the American people. They can't even give credit.
Perfect.
And giving $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%.
Is it frustrating that this?
He's giving tax breaks to everybody. Go look at the new tax chart. Go look it up. Small business owners are going to win. Everybody's going to win. Everybody is going to win. If it was left up to Bernie Sanders or a Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, first off, the tax breaks that we're receiving, they would have gone away. It would have been the highest tax increase in the country's history. And people would be frustrated, busted, and disgusted and complaining that we're paying entirely too much money in taxes. That's what would have happened. But the tax cuts are now permanent. And there are some very, very good tax cuts and tax breaks for small business owners and for the people, out there. But this really just encourages people to get out there. Hey, go start you a small business. It has always been the backbone of the nation. Quit depending on these jobs. Don't depend on the government to come save you. Get out there and take advantage of the opportunities that are presenting itself.
The thing that you fought for your whole career, Democrats are the ones who run away from scared. And he's embraced some of it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so what do we got to do?
Look at that. He had to admit, yeah, that's true. That's true. He had no choice but to admit it. Jon Stewart, who would have thought? Who would have thought that someone of the ilk of Jon Stewart would give the president some props? Give him his flowers right now while he's here in office. Who would have thought that?
What Democrats find themselves in a place is we've shut down the government to protect subsidies for an insurance marketplace that funnels $800 billion a year into the pockets of all these insurance companies. Have Democrats box themselves into a corner fighting for a system that ultimately, to get the thing that you want, that I think the American people want, they're going to have to abandon.
Yes. Look, here's where we are right now, and I think it's not been made as clear as it should. If Trump gets away with what he wants, we are looking at 15 million people losing their health insurance. And according to studies, John, 50,000 low-income and working-class people dying every year unnecessarily.
Based on lack of accessibility to health.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay. You're low-income, you're working-class, you don't have any health, you have a chronic ill, you die. That's what they're saying. On top of that, all over the country.
Very clear. You do die anyway.
You die anyway, but you don't have to die. You don't have to die
that way
just because you can't get to a doctor. That is disgusting.
Right.
All right. And then on top of that, because of the cuts to the ACA, you're looking at some 20 plus million people seeing a doubling of their premiums at a time when they can't even afford health care right now.
Right.
All right. So your point is this a good system? No, but we got
this a good system to defend?
To defend today,
political
yes.
capital.
All right,
okay.
but obviously,
right.
It is a system designed to make huge profits for the insurance companies and the drug companies.
Right.
Period. We have got to move to a Medicare for all single payer program. Absolutely.
We don't want that. And we definitely don't want anything like that with the government involved. Look, Jon Stewart's actually right about one thing here. He is. Bernie Sanders is full of it. He definitely is. And him and so many of the other Democrats out there, they're full of it. FOS. This shutdown isn't about saving lives. It's about saving profits. Simple as that. Insurance companies keep raking in record billions with a B, while you're stuck with a $6,000 deductible just to see your own doctor. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. You basically don't have insurance until you hit the $6,000 mark. And that talking point that 50,000 people will die every year without health insurance, that right there in itself is just total fiction. Hospitals are legally required to treat anyone in an emergency. And that is a fact. You can go and look it up. Now, the RAND health insurance experiment and the Oregon Medicaid study both found that no increase in life expectancy from having insurance versus not having insurance. Insurance might buy you, some paperwork, but it definitely won't buy you better outcomes. That's the fact. So let's stop pretending that this is about compassion. Nah, this is about protection for billion-dollar corporations. That's what this is about. This is a protection racket for billion-dollar corporations. And until DC decides that they want to break this cycle, Americans will keep paying more and receiving less. The Affordable Care Act is one of the worst acts out there when it comes to insurance. The deductibles have gone up, the co-pays have gone up, and the monthly premiums have gone up for the average working American. It's been a nightmare for most of us. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. And as always, keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so